Hey guys, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite albums, and today I'm going to be doing two very quick album reviews on two albums that I listened to for a little bit but didn't give that many listens. And I'm sorry for the misleading thumbnail because I need to go very soon to class. I'm super tired, and I don't want to sit down and write a script and do a review. I just want to talk about some of my thoughts on these two albums. The first album I'm going to be talking about is the new Behemoth album, Opvs Contra Natvram. And Behemoth is a Polish satanic death metal album. I should remove the word satanic. I should say Polish death metal album because to label them satanic is almost like a negative connotation. But yeah, I actually really like their album The Satanist, which is released a few years back. It is some of the most pummeling, epic, and deranged death metal I've heard in the last decade, and it's definitely a lot catchier than I had expected, which made it very enjoyable. But anyways, Behemoth's new album, Opvs Contra Natvram, it's all right. The production is fine. The performances are fine. We get the very heavy and deranged growls, the pummeling drums, the shrill, noisy guitars. It's all there. But for some reason, I just think the songwriting is just not as good. I just think this album lacks a lot of catchiness and flavor and charisma that it has back in the album The Satanist. I just think this album comes off a little bit stale in comparison. I mean, there are some highlights on this album. Um, oh My Heraclean Exile, I like that track. Off to War and Once Upon a Pale Horse. I like these three tracks, but to be perfectly honest with you, I think these three tracks are not that different from the rest of the album either. There isn't enough versatility in the album, and no matter how many times I listen to this album, I just think it's more or less the same, pretty much. With the epicness, with the noisiness, it just doesn't hit me as hard, I guess. So there's that. I'm giving the new Behemoth album a light 6 probably. Next up, there is the new Gabbie Hana album Trauma Queen. So instead of Drama Queen, it's Trauma Queen. Now, I've debated myself on whether I want to review this album or not, because this is such an album that I don't want to talk too much about because this album is not good. It's bad, but not for its usual reasons. This album, okay, if you don't know who Gabbie Hana is, do your research. Look at some memes. She is the woman who was like, "But what if I'm the monster?" Back in 2018 or 2019. And she has tons of drama, and she has like a lot of scandals surrounding her. I don't even know. I'm not even caught up with drama. But instead of being drama queen, she's now trauma queen. Oh my god. And yeah, this album is not good. I think instrumentally it's honestly fine. Essentially, what happens on this album is that Gabbie Hana does rock music, some rock and roll, and it's dramatic, angry, almost like emo rock and roll, like Evanescence. Gabbie Hana is doing her best Evanescence impression on this album. Um, and yeah, it's cringy, it's lame as far as the instrumentals go, but it's not that bad. Some of the riffs chug pretty hard. And Gabbie Hana does put all her heart and soul into her singing and make it the most dramatic, the most insane, sky collapsing performance ever. But I think the biggest issue I have with this album is just the attitude that this album has. And I'm sure everyone also has this issue with this album. It's so narcissist and it's so full of victim complex. If you look at the lyrics of every single track, and by that I mean every single track, every single line, Gabbie Hana is either um, writing a song about herself, and how she's the victim, and how she sold her soul and ruined her reputation, and how all these problems that she's having is essentially she's the victim of it all. And then there are love songs on this album, but she either portrays herself as this ultimate victim of emotional abuse or become the emotional abuser by telling everyone that she is a monster, she's the maniac, she's a psycho, like on the fourth track, Trouble. Or in the last track, Happy in the End, where she wraps up the whole album with this huge, dramatic, epic, soul crushing, but I'm happy in the end. It's it's narcissistic, it's very self-centered, and her lyrics come off very shallow, actually. And it's not even in a cringy way. I mean, yeah, it is very cringy, but also in a way it shows how she likes jumping onto conclusions and pointing fingers and not holding herself to a higher regard. So lyrically, this album just fails on every single front, and instrumentally, it's also very plain and very basic, sort of emo rock and roll. So overall, it's just not a very good album. I don't think I'm gonna rate it. If I were to give a rating, it would be a 3 out of 10. But really, it's I don't even know, because this is a special one. It's a specially bad album. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. What are your favorite? Have you listened to these two projects? Comments below. Let me know. Subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching. I originally planned to review the new Nana Ray today. I gave it another listen this morning, and I realized, okay, I think I need more time. So yeah, I'll review that next month, I think.